Hey, hello guys, good morning. And today I am going to discuss about ReactJS. I think from past couple of years, if you all can see in the market of IT, when it comes to the application development, JavaScript is booming in the world. Okay, without a JavaScript, it is very tough for application owners to create an interaction. But in JavaScript, again, there are popular libraries and popular frameworks are there. As you already know, using a libraries and using a frameworks, there is a lot of advantages, right? It reduces the cost. It also improves the efficiency of app development. And there are a lot of inbuilt components and inbuilt features which will help developer to build an application as quickly as possible. In that point, out of all the libraries, you all can see that from past couple of years, ReactJS has a very good traction in the world. So that's where even if the person learn ReactJS effectively, he will be able to work in web applications. He can also work in mobile applications too, and he can build even desktop applications as well. Like JavaScript has a lot of benefits. So I have interacted with a lot of students, and many students are requesting us to explain what are the features and what is the ecosystem and what are the benefits of ReactJS. That is where me and my team come back with a lot of useful information in this particular video, so that I would like you people to watch this video carefully to understand the importance of ReactJS. That is where it is helping everyone to build user interfaces. Let us start with what is UI, which is known as user interface. Guys, listen carefully. If you look at a website or if you look at a mobile application, whatever you people are watching on the screen, however the screen is visible, the color theory, the element positions, the graphics what people have used, and the interface, how it is looking like, that is all comes under user interface. If the interface is damn good, then it is easier for an user to access the features of an application. UI plays a very, very critical role in the application development. Either it could be a web, mobile, desktop, progressive, or any other application, whether it is enterprise applications or right from a small scale to the bigger scale, user interface plays a very, very important role, right? I hope you understand what is user interface. Let us jump into what is this particular ReactJS, especially why majority of the companies are using ReactJS, and what is the advantages over ReactJS out of all the libraries which are there in the market. And one more small thing to get into the another slide. There are confusions in the world, and some people are thinking that ReactJS is a library. Some people are thinking that ReactJS is a framework. But officially, guys, please try to go back to the official website, that reactjs.org, and if you clearly watch their content, it is a library. And don't ever try to listen, or some people are influencing, some people are explaining it is a framework. No, it is not a framework. It is a library which is solving some sort of problems in the front-end development. Okay, we'll try to have a discussions about what is the difference between library and framework in upcoming sessions. But here, kindly keep it in mind, React is a library which is solving user interface problems in the app development. What is ReactJS? In this particular case, kindly concentrate majorly on what is React. Some people are calling React.js. Some people are saying that React.js, React space JS, whatever it is, but it is all same. Guys, in the year 2013, 14, 15, in case if any one of them are watching this video, if you are a developer, exist in 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, if you can see, there is no concept of ReactJS. We were using JavaScript libraries like Mustache.js, Handlebars, and even though we have used Extension.js and we have used jQuery, now React is a combination of all these libraries into one particular library, which is solving a lot of user interface problems. In the olden days, to solve one problem, we were depending on some plugins. To solve another problem, we were depending on another plugin. To solve multiple problems, multiple plugins. But guys, multiple plugins, multiple libraries, handling is not that much easy. That is where being a developer during those days, it was little bit tough for a developer to finish all his tasks by making use of multiple plugins and multiple libraries. But now it is an easy life for a developer because all the problems are solved by one simple library, that is ReactJS. That is where today ReactJS is very, very good traction, so that whoever is going to learn React.js, I'm sure they will definitely get a very good packages. That too, if you just learn fundamentals, packages won't even come to your doorstep. You have to learn practical and you have to solve real-time problems. Got my point? Now you see that it is an open source. Guys, it is React.js is an open source JavaScript library which is developed by Facebook and designed to simplify building interactive UI using reusable components. Boss, it is very, very important here. Components, reusable components. See, one small example I'm going to give. This is a pen, digital pen. Someone has built this particular pen as a component. Every time if I would like to use this digital pad, I'm using this component. Now think about it. If the component is not designed, I might not be able to reuse. I can't even use my digital pad as expected. That's why components are constructed to solve certain problems, and we can make use of those components as and when it is required. So that's why components has a very importance inside an app development, application development especially. And what are the major features, the main features of choosing React.js? If you talk, the very first thing, if you all can see that component based architecture. I have to speak a little bit more about this. Before that, we were not even the people who have used Bootstrap, and we have used Tailwind CSS, and who also used core HTML and CSS to build a web page. Guys, listen carefully. Every web page, yes, there are a couple of portions like header, and there will be a slide bar, and there is left sidebar, there is a right sidebar, even the main content area, there is a footer, and there is a lot of sections are there. Guys, listen carefully. Each page, if application has page 1 also assume that there is a segregation. Page 1 also has a segregation. This is page 1 if you consider. And page 2, if you consider, page 2 also has a segregation with a different content. And so on, page N also has a segregation. Assume that, okay, it has a different design, whatever it is. But what is the common point out of all these pages? For that, the answer is, every web page or mobile page, there is a header and footer, and few components, few sections, few blocks might seem. Okay. In case if you guys are not using React.js, if you are using HTML, CSS, Bootstrap to build a user interface, you have to repeat the code in order to execute header in page 1, page 2, page N also. The same code you have to repeat. Similarly, whichever the block that you are expecting in page 1, page 2 and page N, the same block of code has to be repeated. Then you see that if you guys are repeating a code, there is a violation that is called, there is a dry principle, D, where D stands for do not, and where R stands for repeat, and Y stands for yourself. This principle, D or Y. The people are violating this rule. Why? Because we are copying the same code in page 1, page 2, page N. So you have to think. Now it is a point you have to think and you have to analyze. You have to give a work to your brain. So think about it. As long as if the code, same code again and again and again, if you are duplicating, the size of a source code is increasing. The moment when the size increases, ultimately the performance of application is going to be decreased. That is why the people are expecting us to use React.js, wherein we can create a component-based architecture, and we can create one component that can be used in page 1, that can also be reused in page 2, that can also be reused in page N, and this is where we are not violating, we are using this principle. I'm sure to build a very good application is not that much easy. And if you train well under experts like us, it is even more easy. But learning fundamentals, no, you can go to anywhere, you will get a fundamental knowledge. But understanding how that fundamental knowledge is going to be used for real-time application, that plays a very critical role. Maybe this video might be little lengthy. Why? Because I have to give more information for the learners of AchieversIT and whoever is watching this video. So we have to give in detail. This all the knowledge what I acquired, it is not just 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. It is more than almost 15-16 years of struggles we did in IT. That is where we have learned. So my sincere request for all of you guys, don't skip this video. Try to watch till the end. I'm sure you will have a lot of surprises in this particular video with respect to your lifestyle. And I'm sure this is going to unlock a lot of potentials. And even if you learn this, you are going to crack an interviews easily. If you guys are facing any challenges or if you have any questions, pause and comment and replay and watch this particular video again and again until you understand the concepts. Okay, fine. The second concept, virtual DOM. Guys, I'll tell you, I'm going to speak little, a minute or maybe less than a minute information for each one of the feature. What is virtual DOM? JavaScript mechanism, how it works. As long as if the user makes any changes in any portion of his web page, JavaScript internally, browser is going to create a object which is called as document object model. Let me just erase this. I'll try to keep only one particular page. If you consider if it is a page, no matter whether it is a header or whether it is a footer or it might be a slide bar or it is any other section, maybe there is a product sections, there are some sort of products and there is any other content area, whatever this section it is, the user, assume the user. As long as if these users or keep interacting with the web elements or page elements, what happens, the browser is the one which is going to show the interface. All the content is going to disclosed by the browser. Okay, so the moment when the browser rendering the content, the presentation content which is created by HTML, CSS, JavaScript and React, so JavaScript engine has a capacity to create a DOM, document object model. Guys, I hope if you are a JavaScript developer, this is easy for you to understand, document object model, because everything is nodes, node. Okay, so, but here virtual DOM, what is virtual DOM, what is real DOM? JavaScript has a mechanism wherein if user is making any one small change, one small interaction in the portion of the page, the entire document object model is going to be refreshed or reloaded. That is not a drawback, I can say. That is how the JavaScript engine, even if your user is making one change in one portion, or if other places, if you modify something, or if you interact in other places, even though if a small area, if you modify, the entire object is going to be restructured. That is one of the biggest drawback when it comes to the performance. That is where that problem has been identified by the Facebook team. That is where React, it is solving that problem by using virtual DOM. I don't want to give too much information. I'll tell you about virtual DOM maybe in the upcoming sections. For each feature, we'll try to give even more details. Don't worry about it. Virtual DOM, how it works, instead of reloading the entire DOM each and every time when the user is interacting, there is two types of algorithms are there. One is diffing and second one is reconciliation. The diffing algorithm and reconciliation algorithms, what their work is, they will try to whatever the changes, whatever the interactions that is made by the user, they will try to mark that changes and they will store those changes temporarily, and they will also compare those changes with a real DOM. If any changes are there, if there is a difference between current change and the actual DOM data, previous change, if any changes, then they will update the real DOM. Otherwise, they will not even disturb the real DOM. Because of that reason, application performance can be double. It can also increase. That is one of the best features to improve the application performance. Okay, we will try to deep dive more into the classes. Don't worry too much about everything. Cannot understand in single video. Hope you all understand. Next, there is another one called JXX, JavaScript with XML. So, because guys, everywhere when you are designing a component, you have to design user interface and you have to place a content in a proper place. While placing a content inside a component, you have to follow some rules and regulations. First rule, one rule I'll tell you, and you have to place all the children inside a single parent. And you should not even, without a parent, you can place a content, but you have to use React fragments. There are some sort of rules and regulations are there. That rules and regulations while creating a component will be taken care by JSX. Okay, we can even handle the component presentation in a proper way. Then unidirectional data flow. So majority of other frameworks like Angular and even if you go for Vue.js, those guys are bidirectional. Even if user makes any changes in the UI, the appropriate model, behind the scenes, the appropriate model is going to update. But if something changes through the API in the model, the appropriate view is also going to change. That is called two-way communication. If API changes the model is updating in a view. If view is changed by the user, the view is updated to the model. So that is so bidirectional. But there are little bit of drawbacks are there with the bidirectional. That is where React is not entertaining the bidirectional flow. Yes, as you already know that every product has a pros, every product also has a cons, but React has some sort of unique features in that only unidirectional. Only the data, React will take care about the presentation part of a data, and React will never ever update the model, vice versa. So that's where it increases the performance. That is the reason most of the companies now, they are following React, because they would like to increase the performance. I am asking performance. Why this performance is required? Guys, listen carefully. As per Google Trends, if the web page takes more than 3 seconds, retaining a customer is tough. It is tough. Why? Because users don't have a patience in nowadays. Even if the users come to the application, when they click, the application has to give the output as quickly as possible. Then only it is possible for you to retain the user. But if you guys are not using ReactJS for a user interface, other than ReactJS, if you are using any complicated libraries or complicated frameworks, if it takes too much time to render the content, you are going to lose the potential customers. Then if the customers are not there, we have to shut down the business. That's where React is directly helping business owners to improve the performance, wherein they can get the customers and they can retain the customers. Hope this point is very, very valid. Please try to make a note of it. If you guys are watching the video, if you guys watch my videos, please try to sit in front of a computer or maybe a TV, smart TV or a laptop or mobile. Take one notes and make a note of important points. That is how we have to study. Okay. Next, declarative UI. Everything is very crystal clear. Even right from the beginning, yes, even to place all the elements, we are placing step by step, declarative, step by step, so that it is easier for programmers to understand what is this component is all about. Next, strong community support. Yes, of course, Facebook has released this particular library. So Facebook, as you already know, that it is not a small company. Now it is Meta. So there are lakhs of developers are there. So these guys are supporting community, because the whole community is supporting a lot of people, so that if any issues, if you are facing with ReactJS library, or if you have any problem, you can send an email, or you can interact with the community people. They are helping you, because this is not a product that you have created. It is a product which is released and created by Facebook. If something goes wrong, we must have to talk to them, and they are happy to support us. And even in fact, I contacted many times to Facebook the moment when we are facing issues, and they supported us. And React hooks, this is something which is very important. That too, this hooks is introduced in right after 16.8.x. So earlier there was no concept of hooks, but in the older versions we were facing little bit challenges in order to maintain the data state of a component, state of an application. It was a bit difficult. It was not impossible, nothing is impossible, but bit difficult. The architecture was a bit difficult, but luckily after 16.8, I'm sure by using React hooks, we can easily manage the state of an application. State, what do you mean by state? For that, I'll just stop and I'll give you more information. Guys, if you don't have a patience or if you don't have a time, don't ever try to worry too much about it. Okay, so what I'm trying to say, even if you guys are having less time, please try to pause my video. Whenever you get a time, you please try to rewatch again. So why I'm telling you, so I'm planning to give whatever the best that I acquired from last 15 plus years in my IT career. Also, I learned, I have faced a lot of challenges. And whenever I face the challenges while working on the project, I used to do endless of hours research with the help of all my experience I'm giving. I'm not holding anything. I'm not just giving only basics. I'm taking you guys from basic level to the advanced level. So that please try to respect my efforts and my team efforts and watch this video. And if you like it, give a like, and if you want to talk to us and if you have any questions, comment, and if you feel this is very useful, share it with your friends, so that sharing a good content is always it's the kind of a gratitude that you guys are showing, so that we'll get an energy to do even more better quality of content. Okay, fine. So hooks, state, I'm talking about the state. Guys, listen carefully. If you are so happy, then if someone asks something and you are in a position to offer and you are ready to give, why? Because you are in a happy mode. That is one of the state. Think about it. You are so sad. If someone asks something and your reaction is not that much, fruitful. Why? Because you are sad. Based upon our mood only, we will try to react. The data, how we are going to give to the other people, based upon our mood, we are changing. Similarly, if there is a huge content inside an application, how are we going to manage? Do you think that companies are building a small applications? Absolutely no. They are going to build a small, medium, large scale applications. As long as application size increases, the data flow also will be little bit complex. That is where this React hooks comes into the picture to make large scale of the content in the easiest way. That is where hooks comes into the picture, my dear viewers, learners. I'll talk about hooks later. So now understand the fundamental features, why React is so popular, why people are giving lakhs of salaries for React.js developers who are having hands-on experience, not theoretical part. Next, server-side rendering, SSR, which is again one more benefit for search engine optimization. In order to improve the performance also, SSR plays a very critical role, or it will also help search engine to understand the content easily. Okay, and rich ecosystem. That the ecosystem, the architecture, and it is easy to learn. It has a lot of support, and many people is ready to support in case if you would like to learn this with a practical knowledge. Okay, and last but not least, cross-platform development. What does it mean? React is not meant for only web applications. React is also not meant only for just mobile applications. By using React, yes, you can do a lot more ERP enterprise applications, small, medium, large scale applications that we can build. That is where it can work for example, if it is a desktop application, desktop operating systems are different. If it is a mobile application, mobile operating systems are different. React is capable enough to cope up with mobile operating systems as well as desktop operating system. That is what people are saying, that it is a cross-platform. I think it is quite interesting, right? Hope you guys are happy till now. So if you guys are happy, please say I'm happy as a comment. So I'll feel so happy, boss. I'll get energy to, even more, keep giving if I get a boost up from you people. Next, see why React.js is very, very important and why should we use. This particular screen is explaining you. There are a lot of questions are there, I hope I understand. In this case, using React.js allows you to declarative HTML syntax directly in your JS code. You can see, as you already know that HTML is dead easy, CSS is also dead easy, and it is not a programming language. It is just a markup and style guide. So if you know HTML and CSS and basics of JavaScript, it is easier for you to learn React.js. Many people says that React is, yes, of course, React.js is not tough, boss. If you guys are not learning from a right mentors or right place, it will be always tough. Okay. Now, web browsers decode HTML text to display user interfaces. You are writing code in terms of HTML, CSS, JavaScript only. You are not writing separate. React is not a separate language. It is a library which is built on top of core technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And creating a DOM tree and the manipulating them with a JavaScript helps to build a interactive UI. Interactive UI in the sense, now this TV is also interactive. As long as if you touch somewhere, and it is going to the next slide. Since it is an interactive, that is where we are happy because we spend lakhs of rupees for this particular interactive system to hire. Am I making sense? Similarly, to retain a user, the interactive UI plays a very critical role. That is where React is helping us to create a interactive UIs. Hope you understand. Next, key concepts. So every library has a lot of concepts. Out of all the concepts or components, what are the important key concept of this so that it will help you to judge whether React is my choice of learning or I should go for others. This slide is helping you for those guys who have such kind of confusions and questions. Now see, component. As I already said, a component is a building block of an application. However, I'll give you one simple example. Nowadays, to construct a house, maybe our forefathers to construct a house, they don't have a hollow bricks, right? So yes or no? And they were using mud bricks. Nowadays, there is a partition, sir. Aluminum partitions came. Even we have a POP partitions, and a lot of easiest way we can plug, and also we can reuse the components, and the whole building can also be constructed separate, and it can also adjusted. If you go to Japan, the whole house they can even fix within a night. Yes, they have technology. What they do, they used to keep creating a room separate. However, the bridge construction, they will construct the bridge separately. Only pillar they will try to construct on the spot, but the connector between a pillar to pillar, they will construct somewhere, and over the night, they are just fitting it. Such kind of technologies are there. That is where components, you can divide your entire page into bits and pieces. What is the benefit? If you divide your bigger page into bits and pieces, it is dead easier for you to solve the problems. So that is where components are placing a very important role. Even if you look at a small problem very closely, if you look after the small problem, that looks very big. But if you go a little far and see the problem, you will see the problem size is going to be decreased. But in fact, the problem size is not decreasing. Your perception, since you are far, and that is where it looks very small, so that you will get a courage to solve small problems. That's why components will also give a courage, and it will also boost up, problems which are there to solve in IT, especially in the user interface part of an application development. That's where components, reusable building block of UI development, reusable. We can create one component, we can make use of it, as many as times we can create it. Calculator is best example. Even this TV is also best example. Even your computer is also best example. Your computer also has a lot of components. Every time you are not even, installing or writing a program to use a calculator, right? Every time you are using, calculator, because the component is already there in your computer, you are enjoying it. That is where in application development also components plays a very critical role. And JSX, as I already said, and properties, this is helping us to communicate. If you wanted to pass the data to a component for rendering a good UI, you need a data. That is where the props and state comes into a picture in order to maintain the component data. But there is a slight difference. See, one is used to pass the data between a component, another one is manages the dynamic data within the component. Both of them are not same. One is volatile memory, another one is non-volatile memory. And try to guys research what is the difference between props and state. If you guys are not able to understand, ping me. I'm sure I can give you a detailed explanation between these two. This is a very important. And virtual DOM I already explained, and it is considered, and it has two different kind of algorithms like diffing and reconciliation algorithms, which is reducing the burden to the real DOM. Only if it is required, real DOM is going to be manipulated, otherwise real DOM is not disturbed. Because of that mechanism, performance of an application is going to be increased. One of the best feature in ReactJS out of all, virtual DOM is also one of the best, I can say. Next, lifecycle methods are there. Yes, of course, if you guys are using class components, yes, components can also be created in two different variations, right from class components and functional components. And there is a lot of discussion much needed to understand functional versus class components, that I don't want to do it in this single video. And lifecycle methods, this helps us to do more activities and even more interactions within class components. And hooks are there to do more interactions and more actions within the functional components. And unidirectional data flow, how you are going to manage that data flow which is coming from a server in a easiest way, that can be taken care by this unidirectional data flow. And as I already said, hooks, it is for state management. And of course, there are few cases hooks are perfect, suitable for those kind of problems, but every area hooks are not suitable, and we have to go for Redux. That is where we will try to talk more about Redux in this subsequent lessons. And context API is also there. It enables the global state. Global state, yes sir, sometimes what do you mean by global state? What do you mean by local state? I'll tell you. So global state, yes, if you guys are keeping any item in a hall, so that if you are allowing all roommates to access, that is called global. Maybe if you are keeping an item specific to your room, that is local to that room. So sometimes if the application size is increasing, some data it might require in all other places of application, all components. In that cases, you have to create that as a global data, so that can be managed by using context API. I'm sure you will be able to understand in detail about all these guys. And React Router. So in order to navigate between, as I already said in the beginning of this video, application is not only one page. Application has a lot of pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, n number. See, in between a page to page, if you want to navigate, I'm sure React Router plays a very critical role. So instead of reloading an entire page, that is the old way of loading that applications. Now React won't even load entire page. What is the problems to load entire page? You please research and come to me. I'll try to give you better answers. Okay, and rather than reloading entire web page, React router loads only a portion of the content. Internally, they are using a synchronous mechanism, because of which the request between a client and server always it minimizes, hence performance increases, so that business also increases. These are the important key concept of React, and I should be very much thankful to the team, those who have created a very good interface and very good content. Okay, if you all can see next, React ecosystem. As I already said, the React ecosystem, React router is a standard library. What do you mean by router? Navigating between one place to the another page. For example, if you are in a home page, that can be called as index page. From index page, if I would like to go to the services page, from services page, if I would like to go to the courses page, or if I would like to go to another page like orders page, whatever it is, this is called navigation. To navigate between one place to another place, these React routers are allowing developers to build a single page application architecture that we'll try to talk. So it won't even reload the entire page, only the portion of that particular page. Even if your page has a number of components, if you are making a change or if you are clicking on one portion, only that portion updates rather than reloading entire. That is called single page application architecture advantage. That is improving the performance. However, virtual DOM also increasing the performance, React router also increasing the performance, components also increasing the performance. Every feature in React is improving the performance. Because of that reason only, everybody loves to use ReactJS as their library for building a sophisticated and very efficient applications. That's the reason whoever learn React, they will get a very good packages in the world. Fine. And Redux is an predictable state management library for JavaScript application. Predictable state management. As I already said, if you are good mode, you can give good data. If you are a bad mode, you can give a bad data. If you are in worst mode, you will give worst data. Similarly, if too much of data, see, UI is all about rendering a data bus. If the application has too much data, how we are going to render? That is taken care by this particular Redux. And also context API is also another part of this, making data it enables the data to be available globally for all the components. This is another alternative solution. And hooks, we can also use state and use effect, and to make a lot of interactions between the components. We'll try to talk in detail, because those who are watching this video at very first time, if I give in detail about all of them, I think it might not be easy for them to understand, and that's the reason we are just giving some fundamentals along with detailed information. But if you need a practicals, kindly reach out to us. We'll definitely give a practical examples as well. Okay, and real world applications. Since so far we have discussed about ecosystem, we also discussed about what are the key concepts of React and what is the importance of React. But now everybody must understand, oh, since React is that much popular, can you guys tell me what kind of application that is built? Can you give me one examples where is the popular application is built with React? That is where, guys, you see that. And do you guys think that Facebook is a small application? No, not at all. I think every day you guys are enjoying Insta, and I think most of the people are already busy with the Reels, right? That Reels is created, and that is not created, but the whole application is created and maintained by the React. So, and Netflix, yes, of course, I used to watch a movie. Recently, I think I watched Amran movie, and it was really good. Guys, if you guys would like to understand how soldier is going to help any country, please try to watch Amran movie. And I'm not a promoter of Netflix, but I love that movie. I watch along with my wife, and I think we really enjoyed. We understand whatever the problems that we are facing now, there's not a problems at all. And you please try to see the sacrifices what Amran, like Mukund sir, wife and kids and their family, sacrifice for a nation, and it is a salute for all of them. So please try to watch that. Netflix application is also created by React and WhatsApp. I think these all of them day in day out we are just accessing, right? So this is all application. What is the best examples that you need? And do you think that if these guys are using, do you think that React is a small library? No, it is a library which is used billions of applications. That is where if you learn React, no matter if you are a Java guy or if you are a .NET guy or if you are a Python, if you know PHP, if you are a backend or frontend or whatever it is, but keep adding React in your resume so that you will get a very good salaries. Okay. Finally, thank you so much for watching. I think this information is very useful. We have not just delivered the small information, we have given a detailed information. And if you feel this is very useful, please try to save this video or share it with your friends. And for more information, kindly subscribe our channel so that you will not going to miss any content which is useful for your career. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.